Hey everyone! Today, we are diving into some rather intriguing news coming out of the UK economy, where we saw zero growth in July. Now, before you start panicking, let's unpack what this really means and what's at stake for the future of the UK economy. So, the Office for National Statistics, or ONS as we like to call it, reported that July brought us nothing in terms of growth. That's right, zero. This follows a 0.4% expansion in June. But hold your horses, monthly figures can be quite volatile. The ONS is now shifting its focus to a rolling 3-month period, which shows a slight expansion of 0.2%. It's a mixed bag for sure. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The government is under significant pressure to stimulate economic growth ahead of the budget announcement on November 26th. Chancellor Rachel Reeves will need to outline her tax and spending plans, and there's a lot of speculation that she might be leaning toward raising taxes to meet her fiscal goals. This has led to a lot of chatter in the business community about how these potential tax hikes could impact growth. The service sector did see some positive movement with a 0.4% increase over the 3 months leading up to July, thanks largely to health services and tech support. But here's the kicker. Manufacturing output took a nosedive with a 1.3% contraction in July, the sharpest decline we've seen in over a year. How do we reconcile these two narratives? It highlights just how precarious our economic landscape can be. Despite this slowdown, there's still hope. The UK economy grew by 0.7% in the first quarter and maintained a 0.3% growth rate between April and June. Rob Wood from Pantheon Macroeconomics even suggested that UK finances are looking pretty resilient despite all the challenges this year. However, looming on the horizon is the Bank of England's interest rate decision coming up on September 18th. They have their work cut out balancing stubborn inflation against this flagging growth. And guess what? If Chancellor Reeves decides to raise taxes to plug that black hole in public finances, which estimates range between £18 billion and £50 billion, we could be looking at some serious implications for businesses. Now, let's get real for a moment. Companies have been vocal about feeling the pinch from increased national insurance contributions and minimum wage hikes introduced earlier this year. Many are hitting pause on hiring and investing until they get clarity on what Reeves has planned for the budget. Yael Selfin from KPMG UK has warned that this weak start to Q3 may signal tougher times ahead as temporary boosts begin to fade. And who can blame businesses for being cautious? With uncertainty hanging over them like a dark cloud, it's no wonder investment decisions are on hold. In response to these latest figures, a Treasury spokesperson acknowledged that there's more work to be done to boost growth, because while our economy isn't broken, it certainly feels stuck. Shadow Chancellor Sir Mel Stride pointed out that any growth is welcome, but criticized the government for being sidetracked by scandals while borrowing costs soar. The Liberal Democrats are also chiming in, saying the government needs to stop putting on the brakes with their so-called growth-crushing jobs tax. There's this palpable frustration among various parties regarding how red tape is holding back our exporters as well. As we gear up for Chancellor Rachel Reeves' second budget announcement later this month, there's one critical thing we need to keep an eye on. How will she navigate these turbulent waters? Will she choose policies that encourage investment and growth, or ones that stifle our economy further? So folks, buckle up. The landscape is changing rapidly, and as we inch closer to November 26th, all eyes will be on how our leaders plan to steer us through these choppy economic waters. Stay tuned for updates as we continue to dissect what all of this means for you and me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want more insights into how these economic shifts impact our daily lives.